Listen, the market is going to have a significantly hard time going higher without tech. And it looks like tech is going to continue to drag the market down. Looking at the S&P 500 cash index, look at it. Is it doing anything? No. We are down. Actually, we're basically break even here on the year. We're down 1.5% on the month, down 1.4% on the week. We're not doing anything. We're chopping within this range of 7,000 psychological level there to 6785 area. So if this breaks next week, I can see us tagging 6721. If that breaks, maybe we go down to 6523, and that is about a 4%, 4.5%, 5% move, 4.5% move from our close on Friday. So looking at that, like, the market is not going to do anything. It doesn't look like it's going to do much. Looking at the equally weighted S&P 500. So again, this takes out the heavy weights of the market and evenly distributes the weight across. It's a different story. It's holding where it needs to be. It's only 1.15% off of all-time highs. We have an inside day on Friday relative to Thursday. You could set an anchor view app from the all-time high here. The average participant is above water from this all-time high. And so the EMAs are up, short-term, long-term, mid-term. They're all up. The equally weighted S&P 500 looks good, and there's a reason for that. Nasdaq, cash index, 100, heavy tech. Does this look good? No, it doesn't look good. Potential double top here. If it breaks down, especially if it breaks down this 24,000 area, if next week we continue to get a move lower, break of this low of 24, 45, 40, 45, 540, I could see it tagging this 24,000 level. Maybe we even, that's confluence with this prior high. It acted as support here in the past. And it also has confluence with the 200 EMA. Maybe that's where we build out and build an even larger base for the last half to quarter of the year. But overall, tech is still heavy. The big names, Meta, Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, they're spending $600 to $650 billion in AI infrastructure in just those four alone. It doesn't even count OpenAI and Oracle and all the other AI build-out names, right? So there's a huge CapEx boom that's eating into their cash flow, which, that money is going somewhere, but where is it going? It's flowing out of tech. Looking at the equally weighted, it's not the same story as the equally weighted S&P 500. We have a huge range here. It broke down, it retesting it, confluence with the 8 EMA, and now it's pushing even lower. High volume on red days, low volume on green days. The odds of it continuing down are in the downside favor. In my opinion, that's how I see it. We have a lot of potential supply up here. It might be a lot of work. This could be a stage 3 distribution, and we're now starting a stage 4 downtrend. Where could we potentially go? There is a gap right here from May 5th or May 9th. To May 12th. It tried to fill it a little bit here, but really it only got to, 127.58. So maybe 127.58 is where it bounces a little bit more, but we probably get a gap fill. We'll see how low we actually go, but tech doesn't look good. Dow, not a lot of people pay attention to the Dow, but either way, it looks good, holding where it's supposed to. This is why, right? XLK. 34.4% weight of the S&P 500, okay? That's how much weight they take up within the S&P. So if 34.4% of the S&P 500 is going down and the other 65% is heading on up, that's, it's gonna most likely just equal out. But that has to be the full 65% to even go up. So XLF, that doesn't look too hot. 13.1%. XLC, Google makes that up. Doesn't look good. XLY doesn't look good. XLV, this is where it starts to look good, right? So it's the lower percentage, 9.8% here. XLI, it's only 8% of the S&P, but this looks great. XLP, only 5% of the S&P. That looks good. XLE, that is only 2.8%, but it looks good. So there are areas to be in, but it's not tech right now. XLU, it is all the lower weighted sectors of the market that are doing well right now. But because of their low weight, the overall market, it's not going to do much. XLRE, real estate, 1.9%, looks good, but it's not doing anything. 1.7 XLB looks great. You get my point, right? These are low weighted sectors that are doing well. The high weighted sectors of the market are not doing well. So the overall market is not going to do much. All right, let's get to it. Little deeper dive into the names that actually make up the sectors. Microsoft, this looks lower. We have this gap fill. If it breaks these lows, even on Thursday, Friday, I would be looking at a break of 392 and potentially, we get this gap fill of 373 to 367. When it happens, maybe next week, maybe in a couple of weeks. I'm not sure, but it just doesn't look good. It's a waterfall. Software is kind of under attack right now with AI in the abundance of it. Of software that is AI creating software. Nvidia, not doing much. It's holding well, but it's just chopping around, not doing much. Apple, this is a decent trade, probably to at least 250 area. I could see it tagging 245 next week, confluence of the 200 EMA. So maybe a short term if you play options or anything like that. This 246 to 244 area would be a decent target. Any gap up on Tuesday, because we are closed Monday, could be a potential short to that area. So Apple looks decent for a continued short. Amazon, I think we get this gap fill here. 197.28 is a target. If that fills, heck, we might even get this gap fill down here, 178.85 to 176.78. This Amazon just looks lower. Broadcom, AVGO, not really doing anything, chopping around, but honestly, it's making a lower high. Lower lows are being made. A higher high was made against this area here. So we'll see. Maybe this chops around within range here. It's not the weakest out of them all. Meta, this has just gotten crushed. If for you trend line people, here's a potential area around this 609 to 611 area. If it comes down to it, I won't be buying it simply because I drew a line on my chart. But it's an area of potential interest. Either way, it doesn't look the greatest. If it breaks these lows and even these lows, maybe we can even go down to the 570.50 to 549.10. I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I'm just trying to prepare for different situations that are indeed realistic. Netflix, I missed this short. I tried to short it a little early and then, ended up doing what I wanted to do, but is what it is. I still think it's looking like we're going to get a gap fill to 70.40. So we still have 9% on the way down if that happens. Tesla, not doing anything. Google, within range. This 295 area, I think it hits. CrowdStrike, I am looking for a short here. This is getting hit. It's in the software realm world. It's at the 21 EMA. I'm looking for a short on Tuesday when we open up, especially if we open up within like the 420-ish area. I think this is still heading down further. I think we at least get to 360. We'll see what actually happens, but it's been a pretty nice sell-off. A bounce is anticipated. So I'm looking for a short there. Now continues to consolidate. It's holding below these levels here. So if it accepts above this 107, maybe it builds a base. But if you look at the short-term EMAs, even long-term, moderate term, it's all down. Doesn't look good. PLTR, I sold my long-term holdings. I made very nice gains off of it. I'm moving on. This could be a 3 distribution and then going down to a phase 4 downtrend. Where it catches, I'm not sure. Here's an area of interest right now out of this, basically this cup and handle. So the breakout area of 120-ish, 125 area. But if that breaks, maybe we even get down to 96. Long term, this might be okay, but short term, it's just not looking good. HOOD, I also sold all of my long-term holdings at HOOD this week. Maybe it was a poor spot to actually sell. I don't know, don't care. It's broken. It's 50% off of all-time highs. Healthy names don't do this. And so I'm just not a super fan of it anymore. I'm not willing to give back my gains. It's an area of interest around the $66, $65 area where it broke out of this nice base. It made its nice run. Phase 3 distribution going to a phase 4 downtrend. XLF, again, it didn't look very good when you looked at the sector. They're not doing anything. They're just chopping around, right? Visa, on the other hand, this actually looks pretty decent. I'd be looking for a short in Visa on Tuesday as well. To this 305 area. We can get a couple of percentage points out of that quick trade. It broke these lows. It basically closed at the low of the day, near the lows on volume. I'm looking for continuation to the downside on Tuesday. Mastercard, similar process here, breaking these lows, closed under the lows, pretty close to it. Either way, high volume. I would target this $500 level. We can get a few bucks out of that as well. Bank of America could potentially break down, but the 200 EMA is right there. Risk reward is not there, so I would ignore it. XLV, so Eli Lilly not doing anything. However, Johnson & Johnson looks great. This is a name to be in. It is trending. It's respecting the 8 EMA, probably more so the 5. It's not even touching the 8. It's a very strong name. It's a very strong name right now. So that's somewhere to be. J&J, Johnson & Johnson. AbbVie, chopping around, not really doing anything. GE Aerospace, chopping around, not really doing anything. This has a ton of selling pressure up here. Look at those topping tails. That's not a name I would want to mess with right now. It's not clean. Caterpillar has been solid. This is why XLI has been looking pretty good. This is just trending. It's a very strong name, time correcting. This is a place to pay attention to as well. RTX still ranging, has nice potential to break out, just has not yet. That just needs more time. So here, XLP, these are looking good. Walmart continues to trend higher. Costco continues to basically do a trend reversal and trend higher. Now that it broke this, I'd say $1,000 level, we're probably heading to a 1067, 1070 area, which is pretty nice, right? So that is a place to be. Walmart and Costco, places to be. Procter & Gamble, this is hitting a prior area of supply. As soon as it breaks and holds, I'd say probably this high at least. You can take a shot if it breaks it and put a stop loss somewhere. But either way, it's digesting again this area. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times it's hit here. The more time it hits an area, the more likely it is to break. P&G, XLP, look those names up. They're places to be. KO, place to be. PM, grinding on up. XLE, this is a nice pullback potential area. I do have an anchored VWAP here. Let's look at a shorter time frame real quick. I have an anchored VWAP from earnings. That's right here. That's that green line. So basically any participant, any market participant from this point in time right now, as long as the price is above that line, they are in the green. If it's below that line, the average participant from this point in time is in the red. It's very simple, very easy. And I would, it's at the 8 EMA right now. This is a level of interest. It's below the 3-day pivot, rolling pivot that is. So, right, maybe you need like one rest day on Tuesday, but maybe Wednesday, Thursday, this could be actionable. If it's not, I would look for 142 to 145 and 142 to 143-ish area, depending on where the 21 EMA. That's a strong name. Maybe a 21 EMA pullback is in order, but either way, XLE, CVX, XOM, COP, these names look good. They are trending up. I did not mean to do that. They're trending up, right? COP, I was talking about a trend reversal quite a few weeks ago. It looks like this 116-ish level is going to be hit. So if you, NE, cup, handle, breakout. I posted on X, hey, we should probably pay attention to this a few weeks ago. Here we go. We continue to rock and roll in it. So it's part of XLU. Southern Company continues to move, right? Duke continues, Duke Energy, that is. It's overall, it's in range. But if this thing breaks out, it could be in play. It's only 1.4% away from all-time highs. CEG, this is an interesting level. This could be an oopsies and it comes back in and accepts. However, it needs to clear it first. Otherwise, this is a potential area to short, as this prior support has potential to turn into resistance now. And that's a lot of supply that can push price back down. So we shall see there. It's at an interesting spot. XLRE, real estate, Welltower, looks great. We got 2 inside days on from Wednesday's earnings. If we go down to a 30-minute, we can set an anchored VWAP to the earnings gap up. Average participant from this point in time, they are in the green. Even if you want to draw a little line here, it's kind of wedging. We can do a little uptrend line there, and then a slightly down trend line here. And then wherever that breaks, you go with it. You set your stop loss and you just let it do what it does. Welltower looks pretty darn good moving into next week. Let's go PLD. Looks pretty good. Hitting this, it's in this prior supply area. It actually broke it on Thursday or Wednesday. Holding the short-term EMA looks pretty good. PLD looks good for next week. AMT again looks good. Actually, I lied. This doesn't look good. This is a rip into the declining 200 EMA. This still needs some time, in my opinion. EQIX, it gapped up on earnings to all-time highs, found supply. Shouldn't be surprised. But now we have a nice earnings gap to kind of base risk off of. We'll see how much it fills. It'll be a name of interest in the future. Just need some time. LIN, finding supply at prior supply. Should not be surprised, but maybe in a few weeks, this becomes a name in play. So again, XLU, XLB, XLI, XLP, XLE, all of these names that are less, that do not take, that are not as heavy as XLK Tech, they're the names to be in. But because they're so light, they're not moving the market. NEM, Newmont, looks pretty good. FCX, kind of, more so of a copper miner or associated with that. It's kind of base building here. Crypto, Bitcoin, this isn't looking so hot. It's still not looking hot. You have this big liquidation day on Thursday. It continues to find supply within the 72,000 to 70,000 area. We have volume coming up now. It's kind of bearish engulfing on Saturday. So volume's light during the weekend, so it's not too much. Don't put too much weight into it. But honestly, I've heard people have been talking about Bitcoin to 40K. And if that happens, there's going to be a lot more liquidations happening throughout the market, especially in crypto names. So just be mindful of that. There is your 40K area to look for. So it's not unrealistic. And for those of you that think it is unrealistic, I don't know what to tell you. Gold miners, they're all looking pretty decent. Maybe they're just basing. They could get hit again. Silver got crushed, still nowhere near all-time highs. SLV kind of basing, chopping around. That it honestly doesn't look good. I don't know how you can trade that. It's so gappy. WPM. So all these miners, they're just kind of chopping around, not really tradable at the moment. HL could be pretty decent if it can break this 24 level, but until it does that, you're fighting the chop. MSTR, maybe we have a reversal going on here. However, once it gets up to this 150 level, that's what really matters. TSM still looks good, holding near all-time highs, continues to grind up. Oracle still looks bad. Deer's another one that you can pay attention to, continues to ride on up. So Caterpillar, Deer, they're looking good. They're looking good. All right, that's that. So again, big thing is big theme. Software is getting hit. Big cap hyperscalers, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. They're spending a ton of money. I missed one in there. But they're spending a ton of money on CapEx, and that money's going somewhere, but it's flowing out of tech. And because of the heaviness, percentage-wise, in the S&P 500 and in particular, especially the Qs, that is why the market's not really going anywhere. So until tech really starts to participate, we might have a choppy market until things turn around. All right, hopefully that makes sense. Like, comment, subscribe. Go watch my FinX video that I just published as well. I basically go over the popular names on FinX to see if there's any opportunities to take advantage of there. Until then, manage your risk, trade well, do your homework. See you next week. Later.